Welcome back. In today's lecture, we will be covering another very important landmark judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, that is ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla, 1976. So, before we get into this judgment, we should also know some important facts. Okay, so first of all, everything started with the very important case, another important case in year 1975. This was the decision of the Allahabad High Court in the case of State of UP versus Raj Narayan. So, in the present case, actually, the petitioner challenged the election of Miss Indira Gandhi to the Lok Sabha and the resultant victory from the Raebareli constituency in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and the petitioner stated that as she was convicted by Honorable Justice Sinha to declare, and then he actually contended that please declare her election as void, so that she could not contest any election or hold her office for a period of next 6 years. So this was in the present case, the petitioner challenged the election of the Miss Indira Gandhi. Okay, so she appealed to the Supreme Court, and the apex court only granted her a conditional stay. So uh, now what Miss Indira Gandhi actually did, she requested the Honorable President, the then Honorable President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, to declare an emergency. Uh, you know on dated 26th June of 1975, and we must read the article 359, which authorizes the president, honorable president, to suspend the right to move any court for the enforcement of the fundamental right during a national emergency. Okay, so what is now happening next, that the government said that a grave emergency existed whereby the security of India was threatened by the internal disturbance. So here the article 352 also should be read. Okay, so when we talk about the internal disturbance, so we should also read the article 352. Okay, now in 1971, war with the Pakistan was just ended, and the 1972 drought were also the another reason given by the government for the declaration of the emergency. So you first of all, you do one thing: first read article 352. Okay, war, external aggression. Okay, so you go in internal disturbances, so you just go and read article 352 first, and then also read article 359. Okay, so you can then better understand the judgment. Now, anyone who was considered to be the political threat, means at that point of time during her regime, Miss Indira Gandhi regime, so anyone who was considered to be the political threat, or whosoever actually were raising the voice or uprising their voice against the government, and was actually taken into the custody without trial under the very important act I am mentioning, that is the preventive detention law. So under this act, actually these leaders were actually detained, and led to the arrest of many leaders from opposition. Okay, many leaders from the opposition. This so what now option available to these leaders were, so these people actually then filed a writ petition to the various high courts in the country challenging their detainment or the detention. Now most of the high courts, or most of our honorable high court, gave their judgments in the favor of these petitioners. Okay, then now option available to the government was to approach to the honorable Supreme Court. Now see, by after this one, we move to the judgment, that is the additional district magistrate Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla, that is the ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla. Now the things start is now will start from this case. You see, this case is also called the habeas corpus case, or to produce the body. So whenever a person is arrested, then the person who is arresting has to bring the person who is arrested before the court, and with the reason for such detention. Okay, so this is what called the habeas corpus. There are 5 writs, so one of the writ is the habeas corpus. So because the writ is filed in the Supreme Court whenever someone is arrested. So this is very important. Okay, so at the time when the emergency was proclaimed, this writ was not considered as a fundamental right under Article 21 and remains suspended. So as we have already discussed in the previous case, that whenever there is an emergency, obviously Article 29 is not there, so you cannot remain suspended. That means it is not, you cannot go to the courts, you cannot go to the court for the relief. And this actually was a problem. Now see, issue number one: whether under proclamation of emergency after the president's order, can the writ of habeas corpus be maintained in high court by the person challenging the unlawful detention? Very first thing. Now the second issue was that, does the detinue hold locus standi, means legal right? Locus standi means legal right to file a case. Okay, so whether they have the locus standi in the court during the period of the emergency. So we see in the present case that the court actually, what the court actually held, that there was an act, the Maintenance of the Internal Security Act. So they were detained under section 16A9. Okay, subsection 9. So it was held that this Maintenance of Internal Security Act is constitutionally valid. Okay, so what is the conclusion now? Means a constitution bench, it was a 5 judges bench, so constitution bench by the majority of 4:1, the dissent opinion was of honorable justice HR Khanna, and he was in dissent, otherwise 4:1. So ruled that while there is a proclamation of emergencies in operation, right to move to the high court under article 226 for the habeas corpus challenging the illegal detention by the state will stand suspended. Now see, the judgment is more recognized for the dissenting opinion of the Honorable Justice HR Khanna, in which he said the detention without a trial is an anathema to all those who love personal liberty. Actually, he Honorable Justice HR Khanna talked about the life and personal liberty in the present case, and he was not agree with the judgment. Okay, so now see, as I have said, it was held in the present case that the section 16A subsection 9 of the Maintenance of Internal Security Act is constitutionally valid. So now that means they cannot go to the courts whenever there is such an emergency is imposed. Then there is no right to they have no locus standi. In the present case, it was held. The above said judgment was given by the 4 out of 5 judges. Okay, and they were the then Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Justice A.N. Ray, along with the Honorable Justice M.H. Beg, Honorable Justice Y.V. Chandrachud, Honorable Justice P.N. Bhagwati was there. It was a 4 and majority, and the dissenting judgment was given by Honorable Justice Khanna 1, that is minority side. Okay, so the majority view of this in the Shivkant Shukla case was completely negatived by the 44th amendment of the constitution during the Janta government period. Okay, as well as the judicial interpretation, and therefore it is no more longer a law. Now the enforcement of article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended in any situation. Otherwise, after the judgment of the ADM Jabalpur, for many times the court cited this judgment, and life and liberty was not given the due consideration. But later on, as by unanimously and by majority, 44th amendment amendment came into existence, and then we had the dictum that article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended in any situation. So right under article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended by any order under article 359 also. And article 20 states that, read the article 20, that no person shall be convicted for any offense except the violation of law in force, first of all. Okay, that is also, when you read this article 20, you must know the ex post facto law and double jeopardy. Okay, so you must know certain things. Okay, so no person shall be punished for the same offense more than once, that is the double jeopardy, obviously. And no person shall be compelled to be witnessed against himself. Okay, that is a self-incrimination. You just read these terminologies are very important: self-incrimination, double jeopardy, ex post facto law. So read article 20 and make the notes. Okay, now article 21 guarantees that no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. Now, one more thing I want to mention: the procedure established by law was borrowed from where? It was borrowed from the Japanese constitution. Now, I want to tell you some very important thing about the procedure established by law as well as the due process of law. See, in today's era, we find that now we are moving from procedure established by law towards the due process of law. Due process of law is in the American constitution or US constitution. The procedure established by law means that the legislature uh, can, by making the law, means by a established procedure, can deprive the right of any person. Means we law bana ke we can deprive, we can take away the even the rights. So but there is a problem in the present concept. Wherever, when you go to the due process of law, so not only the law which is made by the legislature should be just, fair and reasonable,